years since the murder of George Floyd, the Minneapolis man who died after a now former police officer pinned him to the ground with his knee on his neck. This weekend, Minneapolis is holding a street festival called Rise and Remembrance in his honor. It features music, art, and prayer services, too. The goal here is to help the community reflect on progress made towards racial justice since he was killed and the work that still needs to be done.
I'm here today as a part of what the sign says we're here to do, to rise and remember, rise up against all kinds of injustice, against police misconduct. But remember what happened here so that it will never happen again.
The police officer who killed Floyd, Derek Chauvin, was sentenced in 2021 to 22 years in prison. Now Floyd's brother is reflecting on his death. In an interview, Felonious Floyd says his brother would have told him to keep fighting for what's right.
He always told me you have to have heart. That's the number one goal. This activism, as long as people know that you're there, they're willing to ride with you. Until all the wheels fall off, they still gonna be there with you. And a lot of these people never gave up. They're still here.
And back here in Chicago, the Chicago Alliance.
You know what's crazy about this situation? When this situation took place a couple of years ago, man, it was one of those incidents that really separated the country. It was a lot of things that happened after that gentleman was killed. And a lot of things that happened was a lot of chaos that came with that man's unfortunate death. And it separated the country a lot. You know, and the thing that happened to this gentleman, it was unfortunate, 100% unfortunate what happened to this gentleman. And what people didn't take from what happened to this gentleman is that, you know, the chaos that actually followed the situation, where it was riots, it was just violence everywhere against law enforcement. And you know, I sat back and I watched this whole thing go down, and I'm like, this is like a lot of people will say, okay, what happened was, we all know what happened wasn't right. What happened to that gentleman was not right at all. You know, but we have to realize in life, everything that happens is a reason behind what happened. It's always a reason behind things that happens in this world. You know, we have to stop getting so frustrated when things that happen that we think as human beings does not supposed to happen. We need to take a step back once in a while and realize that we cannot go down the path of destroying things that we built, of destroying our communities, or putting separation between us and people. That's exactly what happened. Look at this. Look where I'm at, dude. This is beautiful over here. This is really pretty over here. Some type of festival in this park over here. It's beautiful, dude. But back to what I was saying. We have to start realizing that when things happen, we cannot go down the path of separation. We cannot go down the path of doing things to separate us as human beings. You know, we can't go down the path of destroying our communities, destroying our neighborhoods to prove a point. You know, what happened to this man, once again, it was terrible. It was terrible what happened to this man. But the things that follow this man's death, to me, I think it was just a little bit too extreme. It was just a little bit too much chaos. And a lot of people might look at this video and be like, what do you mean it was too much chaos? It was like, yes, it was. To me, it was just too much destruction. Too much things got destroyed. Too much other people's lives got separated because of what happened to this man. Absolutely, once again, what happened to this man was terrible in every which way, shape, and form. You know, but I just thought to myself, he went too far. Like, things that happened went too far. You guys have to make a U-turn. This is a one-way street. Yeah, it's a one-way block. The things that happened to this gentleman, it was terrible, 100% terrible. You know, but we have to know, man, everything that happens for a reason, good and bad. You know, good and bad, it happens for a reason. And it's today, this week, basically, is 5 years. This man is laid to rest. And may God rest his soul. You know, and a lot of changes has been made after this man lost his life. A lot of changes has been made in the way a lot of the United States police, a lot of changes has been made to law enforcement systems within the United States. You know, and a lot of it was for the good. You know, a lot of it was for the good. But once again, to me, it was just too many things was taking place in a chaotic way for those changes to come. I think in my heart, regardless of all of the things that took place after this gentleman's life was taken, I think it would have all happened regardless, without all of the chaos. I think changes would have eventually came after this man's unfortunate death 5 years ago. You know, a lot of changes has been made, yes, but I just don't think all of the things that happened was necessary to happen. All of the destruction, you know, because in every career in this world, regardless of you look at it that way or not, in every career in this world, there are your good and your bad. You know, when that situation happened, bro, every law enforcement personnel, everybody that was involved in law enforcement had to be very worried going home at night, had to be very worried to do their jobs, you know, to protect and serve, because law enforcement at that time was targeted. People was targeting law enforcement left and right in a very dangerous, very dangerous way. You know, everybody in law enforcement at that time 5 years ago was targeted, you know, in a very bad way, you know, and that's the reason I said that there is good and bad in every career. At the point of this happening, everybody was assuming that every single human being that's involved in law enforcement was bad people. And that can be more than false. That's false in every which way, shape, and form. Every which way, shape, and form. Every law enforcement personnel are not bad people. But within law enforcement as a community, as a whole, you're going to find your good and your bad people. In every career in this world. In the fire department career, as a firefighter, you may think all firefighters is good people, but there is also bad firefighters. Doctors, you may think all doctors are supposed to be good people. Doctors because they become doctors to help people, they become doctors to save lives. Yeah, you may think that's what doctors are here to do as well. But believe it or not, there's also doctors that's bad people. There's doctors that will prescribe you with medication that you don't need. They know you don't need that medication, but they will prescribe it to you knowing that it's a great possibility you might get hooked on this medication. This medication might turn you into a complete junkie. This medication might turn you into somebody that have to rely on this medication for the rest of your life, while you destroy your entire life because of that medication that doctor prescribed for you. And that doctor knew from the beginning that you don't really need that medication. That doctor knew from the beginning the possibility of you getting addicted to that medication is very high, but yet that doctor still wrote that prescription to give to you. Knowing all the facts about the prescription, knowing how dangerous it's going to be to your health and to your longevity. But that's a doctor who don't care. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to prove a point that in life, in every single career in life, every single career in this world, you're going to find your good and your bad. You know, so may God rest Mr. George Floyd's life. May God rest his soul. And a lot of things have changed within those 5 years this gentleman lost his life. A lot of things have changed. But ladies and gentlemen, this is not going to be the last incident that's going to take place that's going to send shockwave all around the world. It's not, because as human beings, we're not perfect. Something else is going to come about again that's going to shock everybody in the world. Something bad is going to happen again, and I'm not wishing bad upon nobody. I'm not wishing bad things happen at all. No, I'm not. I'm not one of those type of people. I'm just saying, as human beings, we're not perfect people. So it's just a matter of time before something comes across us that's going to come across us in a shocking way. It's going to send shockwaves all through our body and all through the world. But when things like that happen, we have to step back and realize it's a reason it happens. So don't be one of those people when stuff like that happens that shocks the world. Don't participate in doing things that's going to keep us separated. Don't participate in things that's going to destroy our communities. Don't participate in things that's going to destroy our neighborhoods to prove a point. Because every single thing that happens for a reason. You know, so we don't need to go about destroying each other's lives. We don't need to go about doing things that could keep us separated as human beings. Because if you think what happened was racially profiled and you want to make things better in this world, you want to bring us closer as human beings, you want to bring us closer as God kids, don't do things that's going to separate us more and more. Don't do things that's going to separate us as one. Because when you're protesting and you're doing protests in a way of racial protest, it just keeps us more and more separated. You understand what I'm trying to say? Like, when things like that happen, and you may think it's racially profiled, the officers, the people that's involved, they're racist, let's not go down the path to make it worse and to keep us more and more separated, to bring our community, to divide our communities, to divide our neighborhoods. Because that's exactly what happened when this gentleman lost his life. A lot of things that came after this gentleman losing his life was the racial protest, the violence against, you know, a separate race. Like, it was just, to me, it was just too much. It was just too much what was going on. It didn't have to get to that level of violence and destruction. It did not have to get to that level for things to change. You know, the gentleman that was responsible for this gentleman's death, you may say, all right, the 20-something plus years he got in prison is not really worth the gentleman's life. Absolutely not. I don't think it is worth the gentleman's life, Mr. Floyd. I don't think it's worth his life. And nobody, bro, and no matter of money or jail time could give somebody's family closure for you killing someone that they love. There's no amount of jail time could bring somebody back. So regardless, at the end of the day, this gentleman, he's facing the consequences for his actions right now. He's in jail where he's been told everything what to do. You know, so he's not comfortable with the way he's living his life. He's very uncomfortable. Jail, prison, those things are not comfortable living lives, but that's what happens when you do bad things. You know, it comes with the territory of doing bad. Every bad things that we do, we have to face the consequences for it eventually. You know, and my whole point is to this video is when things happen that shocks us, let's not go down the path of doing things that could keep us separated or could make us more separated than we already are. You know, I just always remember, in every career in this world, there is your good and your bad. And don't matter of one person in a career, or 2, 3, 4, 5 people in a career field, of thousands of people in that career field, and 5 people within the career field did something bad, don't blame the other 4,000 plus people that's in that community. It's because you can't blame good people for what somebody else's bad decision was. You understand what I'm trying to say? Like, what those officers did was terrible. It was terrible in every which way, shape, and form. But the way that it played out after this gentleman lost his life, with every and all law enforcement was blamed and was targeted for what those 3, 4 officers did to that gentleman. I thought that was unfair. I thought that was very, very unfair, because there is good and bad in everything in this world. We cannot go out blaming everybody in a career field for what 2, 3, 4, 5 people did. We can't. You know, so may God rest this gentleman's soul, and may God bless his family. May God bless us all in the United States and all around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, always treat people the way you want to be treated. Ladies and gentlemen, always do what's right in the eyes of God and his family. Ladies and gentlemen, please let us not judge each other based on our skin color, based on our religion, based on our politics point of views. Let's treat each other the way we want to be treated. let's not pass judgment on each other based on things that we enjoy as human beings. Let's treat each other the way we want to all be treated, man. You know, until the next video, guys, please stay safe. Always love each other. Always do what's right for each other, man. And always, always make God and his family a part of your decisions every single day.